Okay, anyway, all right, let's roll.
Sorry.
Okay, here we go. Couple of the highlights real quick. Last chance to do the Eagle Award. That is Friday. Those have been set out. Make sure you vote for them. We're going to spin. All we need is one spin class to get in shape. Family reunion. It's not too late if you want to jump into that. And then we got our command boot camp. So let's jump through these real quickly. Maybe. Spin class. Brandon, what's the spin class?
What's the spin class? It's a spin class where you get on the bike and you ride with music. It's great.
And you could do that every day. What's significant about tomorrow?
It's a great opportunity for you guys to come and get involved with the businesses and partner up with them and build your business about the community so that you're the neighborhood expert.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. And you're giving drinks. That's water, right?
And libation.
Okay, great. Okay.
No, the one in
Right across the street from Kroger, 2 doors down from Starbucks.
what time?
6:30 p.m.
Well, technically 6.
Oh, right. Oh, well, come on down.
So come on down to the Cycle Bar. All right. So I wanted to just let everybody know that tonight again is drinks and dialing. Come on out. We're going to have fun. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in here, okay, in the Morris training room. It's every other week, specifically designed for our dual careers. If you're dual career and you're online or you're here in person, thank you. But get here, right? This is a time to get your time right, okay? So we all knew coming up in January, timing is such a large portion of what we do. Okay, time management. So we've set aside this 2 hours for you. And for me, right, I'm going to be there. Nimesh is usually there as well to come together, call up leads, call your sphere, and get that production going for you. Okay. So that's all I've got.
Okay, great. Thanks.
What's that? Oh, so tomorrow it's a PC only, but we have a PC only challenge tomorrow. We have a leaderboard up tomorrow, 11 o'clock. I've reached out to all of you PC members as well, but don't forget tomorrow at 11. All right.
All right, let's go. All right, Nimesh.
Good deal. All right. So just to recap on a few things that I've been giving y'all information on. Thank you. And then I'm going to show you something cool. All right. First and foremost, do not forget, if you have not registered for an account with Home After yet, our concierge service for you to set your appointments for your listings when you have new listings coming up, and also to set your one-stop shop to set your buyer's appointments. Make sure you come in here and set your account, set up your account. That way you can utilize the services. Okay. And the other amazing tool that we have here, if you have not registered or started using it yet, is CMA Snap. Free access for all our agents, and you can run as many CMAs as you'd like. Okay, there is a premium version that unlocks for $15 a month that will allow you to download, share, or print it. Okay, all right. Chad's already mentioned it. Here's the QR code to get to the events page. You have family reunion. There's still time to attend in Anaheim. Again, it's going to be in person only this year. We're starting to see people get really excited about it. And we've had a few registrations happen this past week from our agents here. Okay. So if you're still interested in making the trip out to Anaheim and soaking in all of that information, come see us, come see me, and I can get you that info. Okay. All right. Again, the last session workshop for Solidify Your Systems with me is this Friday. I am going to cover the marketing side, all right, how to leverage our consumer applications to then be in front of to capture leads coming in now that we've built the system out. So again, I implore you to join me on Friday. Okay, it's a pretty good crowd that's been coming out. Again, if you did miss the first 4, that's okay, because these are kind of set up independently. So come take this in. Now, if you're getting FOMO and you have missed all of this and thought, man, I should have done it because of the people that have come to do it, it's going to come back after family reunion, okay? So I will start it over again after family reunion in March, the first Friday in March. So be here if you missed all of these and do want to take advantage of that. All right, the next couple of slides I have. Turn off the camera, Chad. We can't have this on. All right. So I'm really not supposed to share this stuff, but I'm excited about a new feature. So I want to share it with you now because it's going to be coming very soon in the next Command app update. How many of you have started using that Command app yet to showcase Command in your hands? All right, CW, I appreciate it. Man, I'm seeing a mix of veteran agents and new agents utilizing it. It's a great resource for you to have Command directly in your hands and to, add to your database and reach out to them on automatic smart plans immediately right from the app, okay? Yet there's a new feature that's very simple, but gonna be super useful for you guys, all right? And that is a built-in digital business card, okay? So right from the app, you're gonna be able to open your profile and click on My Business Card, which will then pull up a QR code like this, all right? And as any consumer scans your QR code right from the app, it's going to give them all of your information right on their phone that they can save. Okay? All from your marketing profile, from your phone number to the office phone number, to your email, to your website, to all your social media, everything you have in your marketing profile, they are going to have access to. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, whatever. That's pretty cool. And it should be coming on the next update right after family reunion. So, yeah, it's a great way for you to send contacts or share contacts, whether it's an open house or you meet anybody out in the wild out there. Good deal. So I wanted to share that because it's pretty cool and some excitement coming up. Okay. Cool. It's a digital business card on the app. So whenever you meet somebody, right, they can scan the thing. You just send them all your information on one singular scan. Right. You don't have to text them your info or share anything. They get all of your info. Everything that you set up in one scan. It's on it will come on the next update. Okay.
She's gonna need some one-on-one tutoring, please. Okay, great. All right, let's jump into the meat of the meeting. Last week we had a great course that was brought and filled up. It's called Stop It. She only liked the presenter. She didn't even know what he said. It's called Shift into Overdrive. How many of you were there? Okay, great. I'm going to hit some of the highlights. And if you were there, you can add to it a little bit. But here's the number one takeaway that I want you guys to hear. And it's no different than the message we keep going. We have to be the economist of choice. What does that mean?
The go-to person for real estate needs.
Okay, what else does that mean? The go-to person. What else? What's the economist of choice? You got to stay on top of the market. What else? Economist of choice. Chris Lesak, you pride yourself on being that. What's the economist of choice? Yeah. Where do most people get their news on the economy? Social media. How well does social media do to giving the real news to our clients? Everybody say it's awful. It's awful. It is not correct. Where else do they get it? Their friends, their uncle or their cousin who gives them advice on the deal. Any of you guys have those? Right? So their little circle that they're in who do not know the market. And where's the last? The news, the major markets, right? Just here's a little disclaimer. I don't care what your market is, whatever network you watch with, because I know some of you think one's good and one bad. They're all not giving the right news. They have one job, and what is their job? Yeah, they want eyeballs on the TV. That's it. They want you to click on their article and watch the news. So it's not correct. So when it gets to the real estate market, let's provide numbers, let's provide trends, and let's make sure that we educate people along the way. So and I'm going to share a little bit. These are nationally that were shared, and then I'm going to just give a little snapshot of what's happening in Fort Bend County. Yet the trends are the trends. They're so identical, and yet every market is different. Every market. So we got to know it. So home sales annually, right? And the cool thing about this is there's a projection. So if you look at this, the number of sales and what's happening, right? We just came off record years of the number of sales. And yet we're projecting our number of sales are going to be down. Are they going away? Okay, hear this, right? So if you look at the trend report, here we are, we're projecting, right? Finishing where this ended up at 4.9. It's still better than it was the last, I mean, if you go back, right, it was still better than what it was in 08. Anybody in business in 08? Anybody sell some homes in 08? Yeah, you did fine, didn't you? How did you do fine? Because there's opportunity. You got, or smarter, right? Or get more fundamental along the way. And yet, this is the reality. A number of sales are going down. And we're going to talk about why and what's the objections as you look at it. This is just a quick on some home sales. I'm going to hit the home prices. They've been what? They've been on a very nice rise, right? As you go back and you really look at from 11 and on. And anybody an economist major here and went to school and did economy? Anyone? 10 years is a really long increase cycle, because what goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. And we're just on this cycle. So if you look at the trend, right, the long-term average being 4%, and if you follow that line, we were way behind it. We've jumped ahead, but I don't see a lot happening, nor do the experts, right, when we look at our home prices. Good point. Any of these that you see, I would encourage you to go duplicate this for your market area. If it's a subdivision, Telfair, Pecan Grove, Greatwood, wherever your area is, or it could be a city, Richmond, Sugar Land, Missouri City, or do it for the county. Because HAR, it's just, there's a lots of variables that add into it. Each one of these you should know as well. Here's home prices. They threw in here what our your annual mortgage rate, because a lot of this is, you're going to hear a lot about mortgage rate. Here's your days on market. And the difference between the two, look at the days on market in 20 for each month. This is nationally broken up. We just haven't seen a big increase over that, and just haven't seen it. Not reporting, but we can look at it. I'm going to share some reports too. Here's our inventory. What's the inventory in your market? You guys know the area? What's the inventory? But first off, let's define. What does inventory mean? All right, say it again. How many homes on for sale? No, somebody articulate what is inventory, and we do it month supply of inventory. What does that mean? So theoretically, if no new homes came on the market, the inventory would be eaten up and gone. You go, well, there's this home that's never going to sell in my neighborhood. It's theoretically, right? Nothing came on. Nationally, it's sitting at 2.5. What's Fort Bend sitting at? Do we know? I thought you guys are the economists of choice. Are we guessing? I'll share you what I found out today on that. Okay. We got to know that number. Here's your monthly inventory because it fluctuates. I'll give you the local one for that as well. Here's your mortgage rates. Dale would probably be a better person to describe this than me, but I get to because I have the slide and he can come up and look at it. So interest rates, where are they today? Where are they today? Whoa, hold on. What did you just say? Okay, hold on. Dale, Dale, just what's the rate today? All right, so now that's kind of creeped up a little bit. Yeah. So it's creeping. Next week, it'll be down a little bit. And yet, if you look at it historically, right, because here's the historical average, right under 6. where they say it's going to be projected. Dale could argue with this. You'll never get your loan guy to tell you where they think rates are going to go. They like to stay away from it because they get warned in their compliance and you're to stay away from those pieces. Let's just say it stays somewhere in the 5s. Historically, where does that put us? In great shape, by the way. CW, you sold a home, how high? Yeah.
13.87.
Okay, so 5 looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, stop. That's not what the point of the screen is. No. Yeah, the price has gone up as well, right? But the cost of borrowing money has a cost to it. And today, this is what it sits at. You could answer me. Will we see less than 3 anytime soon? Dale, what do you think? Yeah, you might not even see it in your lifetime. I'm not looking at anyone. The young people go, no, everything could change, right? Some of us, we might not ever see that again. Great slide to show. Here it is historically. This is what we need to look at and just put it in perspective because our clients need perspective. We have to get it to it. If I could find and I needed to buy the right home today, I'd just go buy it. And this is what it costs to borrow money. And if things change, what happens? We refinance. Those loan officers, he's not in here anymore. We can talk about it. They love it, right? But you're feeling where we went from here to here. That's what you're feeling in the market right now. We just have to educate, get people to pause, right? Because we're going to go over some of the major objections, but a lot of people are saying, what now with interest rate?
It's because people didn't know what the interest rate was before COVID happened. People were buying houses left and right, like getting like these weird crazy interest rates.
Yeah. Which is what you're going to wait on it to return? Some people think it's going to come back. It's not coming back. That's the way to put it. Yeah. All right. This is a really cool slide. This is even Sapana's guy really likes this slide too. But this is really good. And what this is just looking at mortgage applications. I would have this in each one of any presentation, and interest rates. So when interest rates jump up, what happens? The demand and applications just go to the all-time rate. And to me then what does that have to do with need? If you're going through a life change, if the home and the product are there, why would we see such a drastic difference? Because in our perception, that's what we see. And so what you're feeling right now is this too. And what I would do part of that is education. Part of it is just education and the cost of money. But that is a drastic difference in the amount of applications that we've seen in the fourth quarter compared to where the rates went. Single family home starts. We were such a need. We just didn't have enough new construction. We need new construction, by the way. When new construction slows down and builds, it does have an impact. Anybody working with somebody who's looking to rent a home right now? How's that going? Why? What else? Is there demand? Yeah, the pickings are slim. The inventory is down. People need a place to live. Can't sell it to them or rent it to them. And that is also something that's really tough right now. And so is an entry-level property. Yep. Where are the rest of them going? Where are they coming from? They could be, right? Demand is there for the rentals. Demand is there for an entry-level product. That's why we need more home starts across our country. We're not even hitting to address that issue. That's why this is all coupled a little bit. Oh, let's go to Fort Bend, because some of it's nationally. I pull this from a tool that's called Broker Metrics. It's just pulling it all the MLS. This is all properties, by the way, all properties. And it just gives a 2-year snapshot. So all properties, January of 21, there was 3,500 properties. All properties for sale today in January is 3,800. It went up a little bit. Under contract, January 2 years ago was 1,200. Today it's 982. 982 properties are under contract in Fort Bend County. How many did you get? I think there's plenty of opportunity out there, by the way. Hope you hear that loud and clear. That's down 19.5% compared to over 2 years in January. And then the sold was 952. 600 is what sold in January. That's what we start to feel a little bit is the significance of down in the sale. So a 2-year snapshot is down 37% in solds January 01 compared to it as well. And then if you look at January last year, there's actually less inventory. So our inventory is creeping up a little bit, and you'll see it. When I say creeping, it creeped up and then it creeped down. Oh yeah, let me go back to this. January of last year, which was what date? 22, thank you. There was 2,800 properties for sale. This year there's 38. So there's more opportunity right now for listing. We have increased. Yes, there's new construction. Yes, more properties. Our area is expanding. But that's 1,000 more opportunities for listing than it was in last January. And we made more money last year in last January, all of us combined. Okay, next one here is, this is our month supply of inventory. All properties, doesn't matter if it's land or whatever, single family or anything, you're seeing a little bit. We're sitting right now at 2.5 month supply of inventory. What did you say? 2.5 for all properties. I could obviously focus to 2 years ago at this time, it was 1.7. And in January of last year, I believe it was 1.3 was the exact number. So it's a little bit, but it also had gone up. Then it went back down. How do you explain that trend? Our month supply of inventory actually went up in November to almost 3.6. And now it's, no, excuse me, it went up, 3.6, now it's down to 2.5. How do you explain that? Holidays, okay, could be seasonal. Okay. Somebody said inflation. All right, according to KWRI, who looks at it, here's the 3 major objections they're seeing across the country. And here's number 1, I think, is why would I trade a low interest rate for a high interest rate? Or some people refer, I was taught this, is interest rate prison, right? Because I had it at 2.75 and now I need a different property. I'm kind of on the fence and I got to go find something over 6. So it causes those people that probably would have sell, but they're kind of locked in and they're not making a move.
So that's the way to get around that. If you have an interest rate that's locked in that's really low, I would rent it out and use that as a cash flow.
Could, but I need the money from the proceeds of that house to be able to use to buy the next one. Yeah, go ahead.
It all comes down to motivation.
Yep.
Sellers need to lower the price a little bit of their expectations. Even if interest rates aren't 5, 6, 7%. Got a little too over their money savings. And so everybody's kind of trying to market. That's our job to go like, well, what's your motivation? You know, did you have triplets and you need more room? Is your lease up? Is your landlord's gonna raise your rent 20%? Stop having time. Yeah, like he said over there, you don't need money out of your house. Well, that offset, you know, hey, I'm gonna pay $200 a month more over here, but I'm gonna cash flow $500 over here, and that our job to find. Yeah, sellers do need to lower the price. We won't have issues. Then they'll stop raising rates. But it always comes to motivation. Like, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when rates were going up. I need a house, I like the house. The house is nice. And Kimberly listed it like, they will find another house like that. Like, if it's a nice house, who cares about the extra $200-300 a month? Now, if $200-300 a month is gonna make or break the deal, it shouldn't be buying a house anyway. But that's not. It's that small of an amount.
Yeah.
The prices aren't running up anymore, they're not going up 10%, so. Sorry.
No, that's a good one. Angie, you had your hand raised?
No, you just said, it's all the same motivation. It's only online, team.
Sure.
That same house, it just sounded, and it's trying to a bigger house. Why you're not buying now instead of waiting 5 years to purchase? Anyway, that's just the way. Instead of if you start to go waiting on prices to come down, there's no way to come down significantly for them to make versus
Yeah.
Yeah, if everybody's waiting for prices, 30, 40, 50% like they did 15 years ago. Buy investment property and make that up. When it's your primary residence, like that house, figure out a way to do it. Even if you gotta give Dell Branch 9 points.
We thought you laughed.
Just kidding, Dell.
Yeah, Kimbra.
One of the things that.
Are you guys, if you're not as experienced as they are in the dialogue, are you writing down a couple of these valid points that they're making? Because this is the conversations we have to have. Okay, go ahead, Kimbra.
Why would I trade a low interest rate for a high interest rate? Again, you're motivated that you need to move, and you find the house that's right. And you're selling a home. Do the math for them. It might be a little hard, maybe Dale can help you work it out. But if they've owned that house that's set with a low interest rate, when was that 2.5%? Years ago, 4 years ago? They've got equity. Do the math on what the equity from that new house, the borrowed amount will be lower at a higher interest rate. What's that payment? It's just like when you buy a car. Are you really buying it for the total price of the car or what you can afford monthly? You're selling it. If I can get you that bigger house at the same payment, it's the interest rate and the amount of money you're borrowing because you're bringing equity from here, putting it here, borrowing it. See what that looks like. Do the math for it. It won't be 100% perfect, but it kind of gets that picture.
Yep.
I just had a scenario where I followed up with some clients that bought 2016. So I called them last year and they could have walked away with $200,000 if they listed the house. But the wife was like, nope, I don't want to do this. Did the math and everything for them. They just called me last week and we were visiting it again, and they can't believe what they could get, what they have to purchase today for $550 compared to what they could have gotten last year for $550. So I got with the loan officer, we did some scenarios. So now they realize they wanted to do investment property anyway. So they're going to keep their current house, and they refied it last year and got the 2.99 interest rate. So their house note is like $1,400, and they're going to lease that house, and they're going to buy an older house closer in because the wife really don't want to be they're right at the 99 in Clay in that, one of those subdivisions, so she don't want to be that far, because she works at the medical center. So they're gonna come in, so now we are buying another property, and they wanna spend $350, but there's that, they didn't purchase a new house at the 550, so now they need to keep the old house, and the going rent rate in that subdivision is $2,100. So that's what we're getting ready to do for them. So sometimes you have to be a little creative to help your client kind of see, okay, and they're still not at the buying power. So they still have another 200 and something, maybe once they get this other home, we can go buy them another investment property.
Yeah, Mike.
To add on to what these two folks just said, in Kimberly's case, if you're getting a loan today at a higher interest rate, you may in fact be able to cash out your equity in your old house and get rid of the state PMI and get an 80% loan instead of a 97% loan. So you're better off. You can also find houses that make you more appealing at a fairer price now than years ago. You're not quite, yeah, you're not meant to, one of 50 people bidding 30%, $30,000 over the asking price to get a house that you don't really like.
And if you drop the PMI, you're paying the problem. So these are all things that you gotta think through.
Have you guys heard about AMCAP's 100% program? Do you really know it? It's a really fantastic program. Dale doesn't talk about it enough, so I got to do his job for him. But there is certain your listings in certain areas that will qualify for this program. It's really fantastic. Nope. So that's just, we got to come up with solutions. We got to get them from it. You have to change the narrative. And a lot of this is education piece, and the consumer just doesn't know. They don't know it's possible. Did you have something else?
I have to ask, is that also qualifying for a recast?
They will recast.
It will recast. Y'all know what that means?
Tell us.
Yeah, so what she's referring to is what if I had a large portion of money?
Here, come up here.
Let's just say that you.
This is
sold
cutting
your house
into
in the
his-
future.
yeah,
You
go
got
ahead.
into the house using 100% financing. No money down, low rate, no PMI. You could take the money, if you won the lottery, your grandma left you some money, or you sold your house, you could apply a portion of money, $10,000 or higher, to the principal balance. At that time, you can request that they would recast or recalculate your payment based on the new loan balance. So I've got a $200,000 loan. I sell my house. I want to take $100,000 and put it towards principal balance. It allows me to then recalculate my payment on $100,000. I've just lowered my monthly payment, principal and interest, by half because I've reduced my balance by half. Yes, ma'am.
So I used this conversation a lot when you're sitting down with a seller or need a buyer that needs to sell a property. I call it the house hop. How are you gonna coordinate selling and buying, getting the right house, getting the right price, and getting it all to happen on the same day because you need the money to move to another? Oh my gosh, that's magic. No, you can buy the other house first, qualify, carry those notes. And then when you sell the other one, they move out, they get the paint, get the dog smell out of there, take that money in there, lower it to where it would have been if they sold first. It's huge.
But do all loans allow you to do that?
No, that's why you have to ask.
Not all of them.
What do you call that product?
It's a recast feature of the loan.
Recast.
Absolutely.
How many
And
times?
instead of refinancing, you don't have to pay the survey and the title calls and all that.
Yep.
So it's a low cost versus a refi.
Yeah.
It's a couple $100.
Typically $250 for the lender to recalculate the payment based on the new balance. Depends upon the lender. You need to ask that. It may be once a year that they would do it.
Yeah, so that's an option. One other thing, just in the scenario we're
Yeah, go
talking
for it.
about, is if you have a house that you own that's got great equity and you've got a lower interest rate and you rented that house out and you had good cash flow on a monthly basis, if you were to purchase your next primary residence with no money down and no PMI, you could get into that other home without having to be concerned about selling that house. So it's another way to look at that. Everybody thinks they've got to put money down. I've advised people, if you've got an option to get in a house in this very uncertain economy that we're in and keep your money in the bank, assuming that you could make the payment, $300, $400 a month, whatever the number is, but you felt comfortable to know, hey, I've got $100,000 in the bank just in case things go to pot, then this is a great option for you to be able to get into. So we're not talking about houses that are only priced $150,000 and $200,000 house. Brandon had a listing that we talked about. You had, Liska had a listing that was priced at $580,000. There are incredibly fantastic neighborhoods that qualify. Do not think that this is a low income only product. I've got a map of neighborhoods / census tract areas that qualify for this program. When you're going to take a listing appointment, it may be a selling point. I've got a lender that has program for 100%. This may attract more buyers to your house. And we might need to do that. It might help you win a listing because you've got something that's out there and perceptively you're now able to market to more potential buyers. Yes, sir.
I'm assuming this isn't for investors.
It is not. It's a primary residence only.
Do you become a DSCR when it's formed?
But the rate is awful. The rate is awful. You're above 9. Yeah, you're above 9%. You're paying 2 discount points to get that interest rate. So again, if you can qualify, those loan programs are for people that just don't fit into the box. If you've got great income, a sizable down payment and the assets, and the credit to qualify, then a regular investment property would be a better option rate wise.
Well, I haven't invested before to achieve this level of finance.
Yep. Well, a hard money lender is probably going to have a big prepayment penalty. They're probably going to charge 3 points up front. You're probably looking at an interest rate on hard money of 12.5% to 13% in this market. And you have to pay it off in 2 years, probably a balloon. It is a short term. Yep, that it needs to be paid off. And the reason you would do that type of loan is that potentially you don't have the income to qualify. So it doesn't fit into the normal box of income, assets, and down and credit. Yes, ma'am. Come to my office and we'll show you the areas. It's really, and they've expanded those areas that qualify. Yeah, Bethlehem, you had a property and it qualified in that. One thing to think about, there's a lot of brand new construction out there. I had a conversation with Perry Homes today. If we had a program that their buyers would fit into in a brand new neighborhood, they are hot to sell houses. They told me they've got 200 houses on the market that they're trying to push. I said, Lawrence, everybody knows Lawrence. Lawrence, if you have a buyer that's come to me that wants 100% financing and it's a product that your lender doesn't offer, will you still give the incentives to that buyer? And they said, absolutely. We want to move the inventory. So that's an opportunity. Your buyers get no money down, no PMI, and they get all the builder incentives. No closing costs potentially, however it's structured. So you had a question?
What is it about those neighborhoods
It is a census tract area. It's based on median income. Okay. Some of the newer neighborhoods had no homes, so there was no one living in the neighborhood in order to bring up that median income. So they're already considered low income areas. It could have been farmland out in Richmond, Texas or Needville. And that's part of the reason that they qualify. Yes, sir.
National program, a state program?
No, sir. It is a Houston
One
area
bank.
program.
Yeah.
However, the bank operates in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Florida. So there's other locations. It's not pertinent to us unless we're all licensed in those other places, but it is an opportunity. It is for areas where the bank does business. They are required to give back to the community where they do business. And this program was developed by them in order to give back to potential buyers and clients. Any other questions? 640 minimum credit score. It's got to be, has to be a conventional loan approval. So the credit still has to be pretty good credit in order to qualify. No income limits, which means you can make $1 million a year and still get 100% financing, up to the jumbo loan limit for conventional loans, $726,200.
All right.
It is a fantastic program.
Good product.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Dale. So here's the lesson I want you guys to know. You got to know the market, right? We have to show trends and patterns, and you got to study and look at it. The more hyper local you're going to be, the better we can tell the story. And number two is we have to have solutions. You just heard some great mortgage. That program, by the way, is only offered by the bank, and AMCAP, you're the only one who is in this area that's filming it out. So that's a great thing to know. Marketing our listings, giving us advantage, but we also have to have solutions for people along the way. Walk them through it. We don't even know all the solutions in the room while we're having this meeting. How would a consumer knows? Well, I watched the news and I Googled it, and this is what it told me. Tell them the truth. Let's get people. And at the end of the day, everyone needs a place to live. I don't think that's going to change, right? And the amount of people using real estate is still significantly high. It's not 100, but really close. And life happens. Life happens. We walk them through it. Dale.
One last consideration
Yeah.
in regards to the conversation. The buyers are going to say, well, I'm going to wait for rates to come down before the sales prices to come down. The law of economy. If demand remains high, your prices are going to remain stable or continue to go up. And that's a conversation you have to have consistently with the buyers that think they have a crystal ball. Well, I talked to so-and-so that bought a house 2 years ago. They think prices are going to go down. You guys in the room here, you guys know.
2.5 month supply of inventory. CW, put that in perspective. CW's been in the industry, he's just getting started. What? 40 plus years. Not this, he doesn't look that old. His dad made him sell homes when he could walk. 2.5. Put that in perspective. There's no inventory. That's why this is all a weird market that we're in. Can't go back to 2008, 7, 8, and 9. The inventory is weird. Yes.
You're right. On that CMA Snap, I've been using it a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
Some there's less inventory, but it's interesting when you get into December, January, part of the holidays, whatever. But the inventory, they said, oh, there's so much, then that's why the prices are coming down. There's not that much inventory.
Mm-mm.
And if it stays like that, we're gonna see another.
Months of inventory makes it a seller's market versus a buyer's market.
Anybody know? We have a seller's market, we have a balanced market, and then we go to a buyer's market. What is a buyer's market? 9 months or greater. According to the shift book, written by Gary Keller, that's what I have to follow. I signed a franchise. I'm kidding, by the way. It's 9 in between 3 and 9. They'll say it's kind of a balanced market, and it's a pendulum. It doesn't just stop there. We are still very much in a seller's market according to the month supply of inventory. We are still in the if you price a property, you can ones who do it. If you price it right and have it in a good condition, what's going to happen to it? It's gone. You probably have multiple offers. We've heard more stories of multiple offers. The stories I'm hearing right now are the rentals. That just blows me away. of how the pool of rentals who need a property in a home in a single family. So going back to your solution is, if we could stay in this and find you another product, now would be a great time to start your first event home. Start it in the property that you own right now, and let's get you into the next home. And I think a lot of people could get there. American businesses are sitting on more cash than ever. We do realize this, right? Here's a little bit of reality for you guys to understand of the cash is available. This is nothing political. Right now, they have what's called an employee recovery tax credit. Everybody know what that is? The government, once again, is telling you, if you had hardship with your business and you kept people on the payroll, they're giving tax credit back to them, right? This is after the PPP money. So here we are in this world, and we're working on controlling this interest rate, and yet our government, I'm not saying anything, is pumping a whole bunch of cash back into our American businesses. You go, well, how do you know? Because we qualified for it as multiple business, and it's significant money. So people are still sitting on cash, by the way. They're sitting on equity. We can come up with really good solutions to help them. Is everybody going to do it? No. But there's some solution. What I hope you hear out of this, there's opportunity. Sales are going to go down. The one deal is not just going to fall in your lap because it showed up. You're going to have to do the fundamental things to go get it, but there's so much opportunity. And if you yourself could take advantage of 100%, save your cash. It's not, hey, I want to save $100,000. It's to save $100,000. So when the opportunity does present itself, you can grab it. Because this is where there's going to be another shift in wealth through all this. Question is, are you going to get yours? I am. And I'll end on this. There's a book that's called Good to Great. Anybody ever read it? One of Jim Collins. Nobody reads Good to Great? Oh man, this is a classic. It was very popular. In the book, I repeat the story often. You can roll your eyes like my wife does, who says I repeat myself all the time. But great stories, they get better over time, by the way. In the book is called the Stockdale Paradox. Anybody know what the Stockdale Paradox is? So Jim Collins talks to a guy named Jim Stockdale, who was held captive in the Vietnam War, right? In the worst conditions you could think of. He was a prisoner at war for years. So some of you think you got it tough right now. Think of that. And he said, how did you survive all those years? And he says, well, to understand how I survived, we need to go back and talk about the people who didn't survive. And he goes, the first people that didn't make it, prisoners with him, other soldiers, were the people that were too optimistic. Meaning that, oh, this will be over in 3 months. This will be over because they use major holidays. Christmas, I'll be home. Easter, I'll be home. And when those major holidays hit and they didn't make it out, what happened? They died. They died being heartbroken. And he goes, well, what about the next group? He said, well, the next group where the doom and gloom is there's never hope to get better. And they would do what it took to survive each day, but they didn't have any hope for the future. And they didn't make it. And so the people that survived, they had both. They had a hope, an optimism of things are going to be great. I'm going to power through this. I'm going to build wealth for my family. We're going to help people through it. It's going to be fantastic. And yet you need the discipline that it takes to compete in a market like this. You got to do the work. You need to talk to more people. And all you're doing is having conversations that we just talked about. You just have, you're equipped with this stuff. We'll send you any of these slides. You can print them out and put them into it. You can use these slides to carry your conversation, and we just need to have more of them. You need to wake up in the morning and have conversations. You need to use email, video, social media to tell your story. Some of you are going to need to go knock on some doors. And at the end of the day, you need to do what? Make some more phone calls. Depends if you're going to survive it, because there's going to be some of the best producers are going to come out of this. Like back in 7, 8, and 9, some of our best producers that are still with our company were made during that time. Kimber, when did you get into business?
05.
05. But the market's horrible. How'd you make it?
I didn't know it better.
Shit, amen. Don't know any better. Get up and have the conversations. Okay, that's all I got. Norman, do we flip through our next piece?
Come on, Norman, wake up, Norman.
There you go. Do we need to hear any more from Dale? Okay, come on, Dale.
if your buyer was to take advantage of 100% financing and they purchase a pre-existing home, that when you walk into it, as Kimbra said, it smells like a dog and it needs paint and it needs carpet. What if they did not put any money down and had that money instead of a down payment, they did 100% financing and could do all those updates and upgrades to the house that they want? Then that ugly house is not so ugly because they have the means to have the money to do what they want. So again, just maybe another way to consider selling a house that's not been taken care of or updated. Maybe one of your listings is in that shape, but it could be a great program for them. That's it.
Okay. All right. All right, gentlemen. Look at this picture. All right. Come on, guys, take it over. You need a good roofing contact? Don't work with these two guys.
Don't do it. So I actually live down the street from Chad St. Jean, but we're the perfect distance. So I know. So, but my name is Joel Pond, and this is Jeremy Williams. We're with Rain Roofing. How many of you guys have had roofing issues with homes? Quite a bit, right? So, and it sucks. It sucks, right? So you're driving around, you're showing your buyers on home 26. They're like, oh, I love that house. And then you sign the contract, you get to the option period, and the home inspector says, you have roof issues. And you're like, crap. So that's where we step in. Same thing on the listing side is when you're listing a house, you're walking around, you're doing a walkthrough, and you look at the roof, and you're like, man, that roof looks old. That's where we step in. So I'm gonna let Jeremy take over. He's gonna explain some things and elaborate.
So I'm sure you guys have heard from a ton of roofers. Everybody's going to tell you they do a great job putting a roof on a house and all of that sort of thing. And your question is, well, what are you going to do for me? What's in it for me? So here's what I want to tell you is what we can do for you as buyers and sellers agents. If you're on the buyer side, we're going to do a timely roof inspection for you. Every time you get an inspection, it's going to say something about the roof and help tell you to have it checked out by a roofing professional. We'll do that, and we'll do it quick because we know time is of the essence. When you're in that option period, you got to have somebody out there that you can trust, and that's going to be out there quick. We can do that sometimes same day, sometimes next day, but we can do it quick for you. Same day roof quotes. If you know it's going to need a new roof and you need to get that quote, get it to me early in the day. I can get it back to you the same day. Give you a very professional looking quote with all the details in it. We can schedule installation on a new roof right before closing, and we can get paid at closing. So we don't have to take the down payments and all that sort of thing. We can work it in, you guys can work it into the deal. We can get paid by the title company at closing. So if you're on the buyer side, that's what we have for you. If you're on the listing side, pre-listing inspection, I'm gonna come back to this, but we can do a pre-listing inspection for you. Super important. We can do a roof condition report as part of that. We can print out a real professional looking report for you so you can present that to any buyers. We can do a new roof transfer warranty. So if you know it needs a new roof, we put a new roof on it for you. We can transfer that warranty to your buyer. It'll be a 10-year labor warranty and a lifetime material warranty for your buyers. And then we can help you work an insurance claim if we get it in early enough, or we can, again, get paid at closing. That pre-listing inspection is crucial. If you follow us on social media, please do. But if you do, you saw us last week, we posted a map of Houston, and it was covered in blue and yellow blobs. All of those blue and yellow blobs, like 80% of Houston, hailstorms and windstorms that all would qualify a home for an insurance claim. So if you can imagine talking to your new listing, your couple, your people, giving them the opportunity early enough to get an insurance claim on that house so that they only have to pay their deductible and they've got a new roof, and you get to sell a house with a brand new roof. It makes it so much easier. That transaction goes so much more smoothly. And again, the buyer can be listed as the named on the warranty. So I can talk to y'all more about that, but highly, highly recommend doing that when you've got a listing. We're gonna stick around for lunch. We've got Demasi's in the back. If you're vegetarian, there's some food on the back side of the wall for you. And if y'all have any questions, please come up and talk to us. Please do.
So what if someone's not selling their house or buying their house?
Mhm.
How does that work?
How so?
Just
What?
give them your number?
Sure, you can give them our number, and we actually have an app. You can go in your app store, Apple Store or Android, search for Rain Roofing, and you can just give us their information. We'll contact them. If they buy a new roof, we'll give you kickbacks. I know there's some issues with realtors taking kickbacks and not disclosing that. So we can do some things as well where we either give you gift cards, we can help with fundraising or events, that sort of thing. Any of that sort of thing, we can give you credit for that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry. It's Rain Roofing. REIGN. Yes, ma'am.
What, manufacturer?
We primarily use Owens Corning. They invented shingles, they invented fiberglass. They've been in the roofing the longest. But if somebody's got a preference, we can use anything. Yes, sir.
Do you specialize in solars too? So install,
We can work with a solar company. We do not sell solar.
because you do the panels on the roof already. So
Yeah.
kind of restricted.
Usually the company that installed that needs to be the one that removes it and reinstalls it. Yes, sir.
Mean they're not touching them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Correct.
There you go.
You were saying when the seller sell their house, they can get the roof redone.
Yes, sir.
A lot of times sellers don't do that. They just sell it as is.
Correct.
And then the buyers.
And then it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in order to, you said something about an insurance policy, you have to, they have to, the buyers to move in first and then claim it under insurance.
That's why we want to get it done by the seller if they're going to do an insurance claim, because the buyer has to live in the house and have it insured during a storm date. So if they just move in and that roof is already wrecked, there's nothing that they can do from insurance. They have to pay out of pocket or have the, try to negotiate that into the price or something like that. Yes, ma'am. All of this is complimentary. Yes, sir. That is a great question, and that is insurance fraud. So any.
Just say no.
Yeah, any roofer that offers to pay your deductible or offers to give you a credit for referrals towards your deductible or anything like that, all of that is insurance fraud. In the state of Texas, the homeowner must pay their deductible. They all signed an agreement when they signed up for their homeowner's insurance to pay their deductible, and they cannot make money on any claim. So all of the money that comes from the insurance must go to pay for the repairs on that house. Anything other than that is insurance fraud.
We'd love to help you guys with self-identifying things. When you go to a house, we can kind of point out and tell you how much the roof, life the roof has left. Here's what to look for when you're looking at a roof, just so you guys know, hey, this roof will have 2 or 3 years left, or it can have 6 or 7 years left. But we're going to be honest with you and tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So, but don't come back for us to talk to us about it.
Any other questions?
All right, good
Thanks,
stuff.
buddy.
Thanks, guys. If they don't treat you right, tell me. I know where they live. And I'll show you where they live. No, good guys. You're in good hands there with the opportunity. All right, you get some value today. It's only good if you go out and create conversations around it. Use it. This is great ammunition, and you're the news source. All right, stick around and enjoy some lunch. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.